The Blue Trail Blue 21-mile loop hiking moderate some Huon steps boardwalks and uneven terrain. When you leave the trailhead parking lot and enter the trail you will be in a mixed hardwood forest dominated by oak trees. The trail has a lot of tree roots across it, and there are several sections of ups and downs. Be sure to watch your step. You will come to an elevated point in the trail where there's a nice view through the trees of the salt marsh. Continue along the trail through the forest and walk down a big set of steps to a small bridge/boardwalk over a freshwater wetland area. Frogs may be heard calling in the spring and summer. Looking to the right, you will see the tall, waving common reed, Phragmites, that grows along the edge of the salt marsh. As you continue along the trail, note that the ground is compacted soil littered with oak leaves and acorns. After you proceed down a twisty section of the trail, the ground will slowly begin to change. What was once a hard, compacted soil will become a softer sandy soil littered with pine needles. You have now entered a pitch pine, Pinus rigidea, forest. The pitch pine is recognized by its group of 3 stiff needles that groan. Look for songbirds feeding on the fruit and insects of the lowbush blueberries, sweet pepper bush, and sassafras. The trail heads down some steps/boardwalks, then slightly uphill again. At between a third and a quarter of a mile, you'll be at the top of a long series of steps. To the right is Hooks Creek Lake. The yellow trail continues to the left at the bottom of the staircase. As you continue along the path, notice that it becomes sandy and that there is a salt marsh to your right. The tall vegetation in the salt marsh is the common reed, also known as Phragmites. The shorter, grassier vegetation is salt marsh cordgrass, Spartina alternifera, and salt hay, Spartina patens. Eastern red cedar trees are growing along the salt marsh, to the left of the trail. Birds enjoy the blueberries of these evergreens. Listen here, especially in late spring and early summer, for red-winged blackbirds singing their conclary. The trail continues to skirt around the edge of the salt marsh. There are a few interpretive signs along the way telling you what plants are in the area. Plants with leaves growing in groups of 3 might be poison ivy. Take care. About a half a mile into the walk, you might see skunk cabbage growing in the marshy areas. This is a sign that these wetlands contain fresh water and not salt water. Listen here for woodpeckers as the trail turns left and up the hill. The wetlands are left behind and you return to the maple-dominated woodlands. Towards the end, you can turn right to go on the other trails, uphill to Nature Center, or straight up the wooden step/boardwalk to the end of the trail. The Red Trail Red 13V/E-/U hiking moderate some Huon steps uneven terrain. The Red Trail begins at the trailhead parking lot and shares a path with the Green Trail before they diverge at Perrine Road. At this point, the Red Trail heads left and passes Interval Pond. In the spring, listen for the musical call of tiny frogs known as spring peepers. The males have a high-pitched peep that can carry for up to a mile, attracting females. Eggs are laid on submerged vegetation and tadpoles emerge within 2 weeks, slowly changing into tiny frogs. By late June, the adult frogs have all left the water to live in the forest after crossing Museum Road. The Red Trail passes through a pine barrens ecosystem. Pine barrens in New Jersey are dominated by pitch pines but are also home to oaks and mountain laurel. Most of the plants in pine barrens habitats are adapted to survive varying effects of fire. The extreme heat of forest fires causes the pine cones to open and release their seeds.